野球の第6回ワールドベースボールクラシックで東京ドームで行われているプール C は1試合を残して日本が3連勝で1位通過を決めました。通算2勝2敗で韓国、オーストラリア、台湾の3チームが並ぶ三つどもえとなりましたが、失点率の差で韓国が2位に入り4大会ぶりの準々決勝進出を果たしました。一方プール B では銀河系軍団と称されるアメリカが3連勝をマークしました。日本時間3月10日にはメキシコとの全勝対決を5対3で制しています。その試合前、メキシコ代表を率いるベンジー・ギル監督が会見に出席しました。記者から現在の世界最高の打者はジャッジですかと問われると、ギル監督はロサンゼルスにもヤバい打者がいるよねと切り返し、世界最高の野球選手は間違いなく大谷翔平だと断言し、会見場の注目を集めました。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Benji, preguntarte por el capitán de los Estados Unidos, Aaron Judge. ¿Consideras que es el mejor bateador en la actualidad de Grandes Ligas?
Sí, podría ser. Creo que creo que él es el que ha sido más consistente en los últimos 5 años. Pero pues hay un bateador en Los Ángeles también que es extraordinario, ¿no? Creo que en los últimos, si te vas a 3 a 5 años, son ellos dos los que sí han alzado la mano por esa cantidad de tiempo. Pero él siendo el mejor bateador, pero sin duda alguna el mejor beisbolista del mundo es Shohei.
Japan is the first team that knew that they were going to advance and head over to the States and play in the quarters. Korea also now advancing. That was the fresh one where it was actually really unique.
It was a run differential.
Yeah.
They had to win by 5 runs, and they did win by 5 runs. And
they got
Australia just needed to score a run like in the bottom of the 9th. The whole thing is crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
But it's awesome. But I can't wait. I'm excited. I told you on Fox.
You've got
next Saturday I get Japan for the quarterfinals no matter what. So that place is going to be crazy. Whoever it lines up Dominican or Venezuela more than likely. So it's going to be awesome.
There's Yoshida, who's had a big series or a big tournament.
It's a cool picture, by the way.
So far, it is a very cool picture. Yeah, Japan won it last time around. I mean, that lineup is really good. They actually had a tough test. They only beat Australia by a run.
Yeah,
Korea
hung in there with them for a while too.
Korea hung around with them for a minute. But I feel like they're going to be able to win close games.
I used this analogy the other day for some of these teams, and KP, tell me what you think. It's like a college football team. It's a top 10 team. Name whatever one you want to name. Playing a Samford or a Mercer or a mid-major-ish team, right? Yeah, they can score on the opening touchdown, opening drive, because they scheme up some funky plays that the big team hasn't really focused on. But then over the time, the depth just wears them down, and that's what happens when you get into some of these bullpens. They just don't have the depth of the. Basically, it's about big 5 teams, I would say: U.S., Japan, Korea, Dominican, Venezuela, and maybe Mexico-ish, or the big 6 maybe. Because even if you look at Puerto Rico, they don't have the pitching depth that a lot of the other teams have. So eventually, they just get to them, and then they walk a couple guys. They get to some younger guys, and then boom, someone hits a home run, and the game's over. It's a great tournament. I love it. It's so fun for the fans, but I wish some of the other teams were better. It would be even more fun.
Well,
I don't think they can. I don't think they can loosen the rules anymore in terms of.
No, I know. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying that for the teams you qualify for. So I think players have the ability to play for multiple different countries now, as you've seen multiple players that play for multiple countries. So, baseball is just not the same in every country we go to. But I do love your analogy with, a top 10 team playing a mid-major. That's kind of the way this tournament plays out early in the year. I do think you see the occasional upset because a lot of these teams will play down to their competition a little bit. But I think we're getting to the point, especially with the USA game today, where, they knew eventually they could just turn it on and beat the first 2 teams they played. You play down to your competition a little bit. You're fresh out of spring training. Your timing's not quite there. You do face the unique guy who is actually throwing under the comfortable hitting speed for a lot of these guys. It works for a little bit of time, but eventually the good teams, the great teams are going to wear down these smaller teams that just don't have the depth. But this is where the tournament gets really exciting. the players have more at-bats under their belt, pitchers have more innings logged, everything starts to sharpen a little bit, and the competition turns up a little bit. And you start to see a team like USA play up to their competition with a team in Mexico today. And I think it can end up being a very one-sided game. I think you knew Japan was going to be there. I think you knew Korea was going to be there. It's a shame with some of the insurance things and the health things that happen to some of the Puerto Rican players too, because you could put them in that category of a team that you expect to kind of be in that second round of this tournament. But it's really going to come down to about 4 or 5 teams. They have enough depth to kind of withstand, the way this tournament is set up.
How much circling in the lineup and avoiding should teams do with Otani? There are other good names in that lineup.
I'd tell you who wouldn't be
finally
afraid
went
of,
hitless.
who wouldn't be afraid of
twice.
Otani? Poland. Team Poland would not be afraid of Otani.
It's never going to happen, or at least not right now.
I mean, don't say never.
Not never, but well.
I tell you what team's never going to be in it, Team New Jersey. So let's not say Poland's
not
never
a
going to be
country.
in it, though.
You're not taking a shot at me. I identify with many different states.
Okay, well.
I like
I'm not
Jersey,
touching
I
that
like
one,
New York,
but
I like Florida.
who do you pitch around? That's the problem with some of these lineups. Who do you like? USA, who do you pitch around? Japan, who do you pitch around? Dominican, who do you pitch around? Venezuela, who do you pitch around? Even Mexico's lineup, who do you pitch around?
For me, Otani for Japan. I mean,
you just don't let Otani beat you. So he walks and he's still second, and then the next guy bunts him over, and then the guy hits sac fly, you're down 1-0.
Sometimes. Do you disagree? Because there's 5 or 6 other names that you feel good about. So, but like,
I mean, the thing is, they have a lot of lefties. So if you could have a nasty lefty, that's why Skubal makes so much sense in the finals because they have so many lefties that if you can neutralize them with a lefty, because they have a ton of left-handed hitters in that lineup. Not that Skubal, I mean, he's split neutral because of the changeup. But anyways.
But still, yeah, it would help.
And if you've been watching the World Baseball Classic so far, what you've seen, of course, from around the different pools is a number of electric moments. There's a passion in this tournament that simply does not exist in regular season baseball. And it can't exist in regular season baseball when you're playing 162 games. This is a 7-game sprint. A 7-game sprint to the championship. And that is what makes it so unique. And we've seen as well, over the years, this is now the 6th Classic, but over the years, starting in 2006 when the tournament was introduced, the passion in Latin American countries in particular is really high. The passion in the Asian countries, as we've seen in the telecast from Korea and Japan, really high. And here, I wouldn't say it's quite that high, and fans are torn between their guys playing in the WBC when they could be getting ready for the season. We'll get into that with Mr. Skubal. But it seems to me that in recent years, certainly with the last tournament and Otani striking out Trout for the final out, interest has grown. And it is a lot of fun. It's one of the most fun things I cover, and I look forward to it every year. Now, the other pools, I might want to talk a little bit about them, right? In Pool C, Otani and Japan, they've already advanced. They've gone 3-0. And then we saw just now Korea win that 3-way tiebreaker with Australia and Chinese Taipei. That is now decided. It's going to be Japan and Korea. Chinese Taipei is out. Australia is out. Japan and Korea go on to Miami. With the Grilling Ken segment of our show, let's get to your questions right now. First one comes from Videos207, who asks, is there any chance that Yoshida's stock could rise enough from the WBC that the Red Sox could be able to trade him? I would say the answer to that is yes. And Yoshida has shown, batting cleanup for Samurai Japan, that he is still a capable offensive player. Now, defensively, that's another question. But the money is a problem. Obviously, the 2 years that are left at fairly significant dollars, and clearly the role has been a problem with the Red Sox as well, at least where he currently stands on that roster. But, yeah, this is a contributing major league player. This is a solid hitter. And is he everything the Red Sox thought when they signed him to a 5-year, $90 million deal? No, he is not that. But he is a guy, yes, that I can imagine some team taking. If I were a low revenue team, I'd definitely be interested in Yoshida if I had a spot kind of in a DH way where I could fit him in and have the Red Sox pay most of the money and go about it that way. So, yes, I would say Yoshida is raising his stock or has the potential to raise his stock in the WBC.